coming off of Speedweeks, and Lucas Oil at Golden Isle, Alltech, Ocala, 2 rounds of World Outlaws at Volusia, one night of Hunt the Front Series at Needmore. Hunter's got some questions for us to kind of, I guess, what do you want to call these? Some hot takes?
Hot takes.
Yeah. All right, Hunter, hit us with them.
All right. If Speedweeks is an indication, who do you guys think is the driver of the year?
Who would we pick to be driver of the year based on Speedweeks?
Yeah, at the end of the year.
Can we also include Arizona or Wild West Shootout, New Mexico?
I think up to this point. Okay. Yeah, up to this point. You can include the ice ball if you want to.
Sure. All right. Driver of the year, like hot take right now, if you had to pick who's going to be driver of the year.
If you had to put your money, a significant amount on it, who's it going to be?
Well, I mean, if we have this conversation before Speedweeks, we're all ready to anoint Bobby, right? I think there's.
Although I think you had some reservations that turned out to be.
The field, Alberson was is better than expected.
Yeah.
But the field, other than and Alberson did challenge him at Vado, but he didn't have.
He was the only guy to win a race other than Bobby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Bobby was, I think Vado was. I said it before. Vado was down competition wise this year. So I think it showed out that, and I think. I know one of the questions here is Bobby,
he's stalling to think about his answer is what's going on.
Well,
here.
I just don't. I think we want to pump the brakes on the Bobby Pierce, struggle bus, thing. Like I think you're basing it off of essentially one track, Volusia. He didn't run well at. He went to Bubba, but that was his first time there at Ocala, and he only went for the last 2 nights, while other guys had been there all week. So I don't know. Like I'll be honest. My thought is Jonathan Davenport usually struggles at Speedweeks.
Yeah.
Even his best years. Even his best years.
He didn't win till like April on, was it 22?
Yeah, 22, and he went off, won the million, won pretty much everything that year. Yeah, he was rough until April.
I think the fact that he's coming out of Speedweeks, he's number one, like you said, dirt on dirt, and deservedly so. I think over $100,000 in winnings at Speedweeks. So, and leading the Lucas Oil points. I think would be leading World of Outlaws, but if he had signed up, they do a points bonus to their regulars to separate them out. I mean, you can't bet against him right now, right? Like if he's firing on all cylinders, right? Like, and you see it's Jonathan Davenport at his best. I think he will outperform anyone else at their best. So if he is Jonathan Davenport at his best, he's going to be driver of the year. And I think right now there's you got to think it. He's coming out of Speedweeks, on fire basically. Yeah. So I guess that's my pick.
Yeah. I think if I'm forced to pick one, I feel like I would go RTJ. All right. I don't think he's tapped into his full potential and I don't think he's hit his stride, but he's still right there and one of the dominant cars.
So I think that's the question. Talking about Davenport, is he running so well because he's just that good right now, or is RTJ struggling? Moran, the Bobby struggling.
Right, I see what you're saying.
That's where the jury is still out, and why it's so hard to make a prediction right now.
Yeah. Well, here I'll make a prediction for. If I'm putting money on one of them to be driver of the year, I think RTJ is my guy.
Okay.
But I will say I think you're going to see more of this top 4 or 5 guys rather than just one. Or 2. Yeah. I guess it's been 2, Bobby and RTJ the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think maybe Moran, Davenport, and Overton, and maybe Albertson.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a big 5 for the year,
right?
I guess, or 6. Yeah. And then you're going to have a really tough time having a solid 1 or 2 that's head and shoulders above the rest. Does that make sense? Kind of like Speedweeks has been. You got it's hard to say.
Guys
I know Davenport's the number 1 coming out of Speedweeks, but if he doesn't win the last race.
If Alberson wins that, he's probably not a good chance he's number 1, right? Or if Moran wins it, right? Like it kind of like if you'd have done a top 25 after Ocala, it's probably Moran.
Exactly.
I think. So it is gonna. I think that's gonna fluctuate between those 4 or 5 guys that you're mentioning. But I think I don't know. I just feel like Davenport's. If he's firing on all cylinders, he's going to be hard to beat because he's also really consistent.
I think the same thing about RTJ, and I don't think he's firing on.
I agree.
All 8 yet. What you got, Hunter?
I was waiting. He's gonna make fun of me.
Boom's not gonna be driver of the year. Like, come on.
Not gonna be Boom Briggs.
Boom could have a good year.
Boom Briggs is Hunter's
Boom's running
cousin.
regionally.
Yeah,
He's running at home.
I don't think it's gonna be McCready either. If that's okay, all right.
No.
Just make sure.
That's not where I was going.
Okay.
No, but he's gonna pick on me about this. Devin Moran.
Because you're Devin Moran.
Oh yeah. He wore to Devin Moran 2 days in a row.
Hear me out.
I guess you were wearing his shirt the night he won. Did Moran win Friday night? Is that what we,
Yes.
Okay, he was wearing the shirt, so got him going for that. Go ahead.
All right.
Elaborate.
So, I've been wanting to get this out onto a public platform for a long time. He has played bridesmaid his entire career. Even going back to when he was in the Ty Torg 9, he was always second best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after these last couple years, he's been second in the Lucas Oil Point standings 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Come close 2 years in a row. And I think the motivation's there. I think he's shown throughout Speedweeks he's got a little more fire in him than he has in years past. I think he's sick of being second all the time. And when I interviewed him last year at Pennsburg, he said, we had a great year, but we were second 21 times. Like he's sick of being second. They got the team for it. That double down, Roger Seller's own
He is
machine.
currently second
I
in the
know
top
he is.
25.
His nickname, literally growing up, was Deuce.
Oh.
And but I think Devin Moran. I think he's good enough as a driver to do it. I think he's got the team, and I think the motivation's there.
Okay. I mean, he's
I
looked
like
good.
that pick this year a lot more than last year. I would have
I've said it like 2 years in a row, though. He's always good early in the year.
That's the point. Like, can he translate? Will it?
He was good all year last year. Though.
Yeah.
It's just he was second almost. Like he just didn't stack the wins.
Yeah, he was. I don't like last year. He was like the next level down from you had Bobby and RTJ, and then him and O'Neal and those guys were like the next level down. If could he be again? Bobby and RTJ struggled a little bit during speed weeks, or at least subpar than from what we're used to. Had some struggles. So can he cap it? Is that what is like I said with Davenport? Is that why we're seeing Moran
Better is
right?
because RTJ and
Or has Moran elevated? I don't know. Like that's why it's hard to say after
it's,
just
I think
small.
that's what I was going to say. It's a
subset here.
It's a small sample size at a handful of tracks. It's a long season, a lot of racing, and who knows? But I do think you see who clearly is going to be your top 4 or 5 guys, which leads me to leads Hunter to the next question here.
Yes. Who do you guys believe leaving Speedweeks is going to have a breakout season?
You want to go first on that one too?
Well, first thing, like, what do I mean by breakout? Like,
It could be. I'll get to set the ground rules, I guess.
Yes.
It could either be a rookie, a guy that you think is going to have a really good rookie campaign, or a guy he's been around for a little while, he's had decent years, but you think he's going to take that next step.
See, that's okay. So can I answer 2? Because I feel like I got one for
kind of
each
like
of
most
those.
improved, maybe. I don't know.
I will say that I think. I think Garrett Alberson is the guy.
He took
that
my
is-
guy,
Well,
too.
okay.
Took my guy.
Well, I just want to preface that is going to take the next step. He's that next step guy, right? He is going to challenge. I think, and I think he
Compete
did
for that top 4.
for the top 4 with Lucas Oil, and probably can at some point contend for a crown jewel victory. I think throughout the season. He's that good right now, and that team's that good. And I do think he didn't sign up for Outlaw, so it is he's Lucas, right? He's that next step guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to take like rookies type breakout?
I was going to say
Since
Drake Troutman.
Okay, for
Is he running for rookie on?
They have not made up their mind yet.
yeah. So he could run. He ran rookie on Lucas this year. He could run rookie on Outlaws, didn't they say this year if he sticks with Outlaws?
He just seems to have a lot of promise. I mean, he's young and still got a lot to learn, obviously, and probably gonna, there's gonna be some. He's gonna win some races.
So is he next step guy or kind of like true breakout guy for you?
We'll go from a guy that is just lumped in there with the rookies to, and competing to win Rookie of the Year to a guy that you hear almost, a very common name because he's up front quite a bit. That
Something
makes
in the
sense.
water there in PA.
I mean,
Something in the
he
water.
looks good.
Yeah.
Just a guy that you're going to hear a lot more than you have been hearing this year compared to last year.
I'll add. So I was going to say in 2, like next level guy, and rookie guy, I think is Ethan Dotson.
Yeah.
How
many guys are you going to take here?
I just took 2 for each one. But I'm telling you, Ethan Dotson will win big races this year, multiple big races. He's also going to. He's not. I don't think he's going to contend for a championship because he's going to need to find that consistency. Probably the favorite for Outlaws Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Give him that. But I think he's the guy. Like he is. He's got a bright future in the sport. We saw it. He's ran with us some on the front series, and won some races and ran well.
Ran well at Volusia.
Yep, stepped out a little bit last year with the ASD team and ran really well. I think, and he's got, again, with the ASD deal, he's got resources behind him to be competitive just about every time he unloads. He's going to struggle at some places. But he's a guy that has a versatile background with the mods and racing all over. I think he's gonna win some big races this year, Outlaws races, potentially some Lucas races too, depending on how much he runs over there. And I wouldn't be surprised for him to be a contender and a crown jewel at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, now that everybody else is taken, would you like to give us a breakout guy of the year?
Yeah, I think I kind of gave myself up. I was going to say Garrett Alberson. And then after he said Garrett Alberson, I was going to say Ethan Dotson. And he said Ethan Dotson. So, yeah, I'm going to go with those two guys, Garrett Alberson, Ethan Dotson. I think Alberson, that team, they've grown leaps and bounds since he first burst out onto the scene with Lucas in 2021. Took forever to get that first win, but he got it in August at Port Royal. And I don't think you could have won it in a better way, passing Devin Moran in turn 4 in the last lap. So I think that
he
team
finished second, so that he had another second.
Yeah,
you were talking about
21 second place runs last year. But yeah, I think that team's grown a lot, and I think they have a lot of potential to. And I was gonna say that don't be surprised if we see Garrett Alberson in the top 4, and if he does, you heard it here first. But then,
I think we already discussed that, but we'll give it to you.
I was thinking it before we even started recording today.
One I will say that I feel like could break out and win a lot of races, and Cody Overton.
Yeah.
Look,
I think Cody could win a race or two and be competitive. But I mean, I don't see him being over the long haul.
No, I'm just saying he's got the speeds there.
Yeah,
that you'll see him up front.
You guys, I like Cody. I really do. But I think I kind of called it. Not going to be the points leader.
Josh was tooting his own horn over here. What was he going to be, and where was he going to be in the points coming out of Volusia?
So after the first 2 races at Volusia,
he was leading.
I said
5th.
Okay, you said he'd still be top 3. I said he's 7th or worse, and he's 9th. So, no offense to Cody, but I mean, and Volusia, that was the toughest field yet of the year. So and I think he had a motor issue on one night that dropped him out,
set him back too.
So it's just he's still Cody. I forget he still doesn't have a ton of experience.
No, this is only his second full-time season.
Yes.
Well,
and he did. Yeah, in a super, not just nationally, but in a super.
Yeah.
So
maybe he might be my breakout next year.
There you go.
One guy. This is gonna be short because I know we're probably getting ready to move on. Just popped in my mind. Dalton Wilson could take that leap.
Yeah. I do feel like he's been poised. He was the guy last year.
Yeah, and he had some good runs.
Not that he had a terrible year or anything like that, but he didn't. I feel like Albertson has kind of stepped above past him.
I feel those two guys. I feel like have always been compared to each other. They came in at the same time. Both came in 21.
Yeah.
That's Spencer Hughes has looked good.
Yeah.
Showing some speed here early in the year. Be one to watch. One more question about coming out of Speedweeks. Yes.
Who do we think is going to underperform in 2025h?
You want to take that?
I mean,
you have a grin on your face, like you're about
I think there's. We're sort of basing this on
what we've seen so far this year.
Yes.
I think the obvious candidate, and there's been a lot of talk about it, is